Let's be honest, Manchester United's transfer business is broken. They told us back in January that summer was supposed to be different. We finished 15th, and so we're all expecting big things to happen. But here we go again, overpaying and undervaluing players. And today I want to focus on two transfers that tells us the full story. Bryan Mbeumo and Marcus Rashford. What went wrong? And what does this mean for the future of this club? Let's talk about it. So first up, we're going to talk about Bryan Mbeumo, okay? And well, if you didn't know, we have signed him for £65 million guaranteed plus 6 million in add-ons, okay? Totaling £71 million. Now don't get me wrong, Mbeumo is a baller, okay? 20 goals and 8 assists in 38 games last season. I made plenty of shorts and videos on him. I wanted him at Manchester United, okay? Let me just make that clear. But the thing is, right, this deal right here, it's not about quality, it's about priorities, okay? We already signed Cunha for the number 10 role, okay? And I get it, we need another number 10. But why are we spending 70 million on another one when our midfield is getting torn apart, okay? Our double pivot needs help, and we still need a striker and goalkeeper on top of that. Just to clarify, we spent £130 million on 2 number 10s alone so far. And I promise you, going into next season, they are not going to give us £130 million results. And by the way, I'm not trying to blame them, just to be clear, okay? I'm not saying these two players are bad. It's more so this team right now needs a lot of fixing before going to the next season. And well, if these two players don't have a solid team around them, they won't be able to perform. And this is just the truth. And sure, Cunha, Mbeumo and Xerxes as a front three sounds interesting. But again, that game against Leeds, okay, I watched that friendlies, okay, and I would expect us to win, but hey, forget about the win, forget about the draw, okay, we got exposed. The double pivot is still a huge problem, okay. Casemiro, Ugarte, those players, yeah, we need to find a new player to slot into that double pivot role alongside Bruno or even Kobe Manu. And on top of that, if Bruno is worth £100 million, since if you didn't know, we rejected £100 million for Bruno. And so if Bruno is worth more than £100 million, I'm expecting him to play in the number 10 role as well. With this Mbeumo deal, right, the way I see it, I feel like paying 70 million was not worth it. I feel like Brentford played us, okay? Not only that, we started off this deal or this bid at 60 million, or was it 62.5? Since Brentford wanted us to pay the same amount as we paid for Cunha. And what did United do? We stalled. And then, I don't know what happened, but these guys panicked and ended up giving them what they wanted. Brentford got a masterclass deal, okay? I feel like Brentford got every penny that they wanted out of that Mbeumo deal. Whereas United, I feel like we just signed, listen, a top player, don't get me wrong, but too expensive and the squad is still unbalanced. So let me ask you this, is Mbeumo really worth £70 million? Okay, personally, I feel like that £70 million could have went elsewhere that could be, you know, significant. But what do you guys think? Now, the next player I want to talk about is Marcus Rashford, okay, about his loan deal to Barcelona. And I'm going to say it again, it's a loan deal, not even a transfer. That's one of the biggest problems I have with this, okay? And just to quickly explain it, this Barcelona deal is a 1-year loan where Barcelona pays all of Rashford's wages. And well, sources that I found tells me that there's an option to buy at £30 million next summer. But again, here is the problem. It's a loan deal, so the fee isn't even guaranteed. One thing I do fear is that Barcelona don't actually buy him next year, you know? And this is a huge problem because, again, Manchester United, or specifically Ruben Amorim, has said that he does not want Rashford. And well, we can't just keep loaning out these players and not really getting our money, money back by selling them, I feel like Rashford will have a great season at La Liga, okay? I'm not going to disrespect him. I feel like he's going to have a great season. I didn't even think he's going to Barcelona, but since that Nicky Williams transfer has fallen out, Barcelona has then moved on to getting Marcus Rashford. But again, it's a loan deal, and so you can't really say Barcelona wants Rashford. I know the fans do. I mean, I've been seeing it all over my Twitter, but for the club, I don't know if they really want Rashford. And so, after next year, when we get to next year, what happens if they don't buy Rashford, You know, Rashford has to return to Manchester United, who don't want him. His contract ends in 2028. We can't just keep loaning him out. We need to try and sell him. If he's worth 30 million, which is kind of crazy, but if he's worth 30 million, we need to get that 30 million before it's too late. It's bad timing, bad planning, and possibly a huge missed opportunity, since if Barcelona secretly do want him, and I feel like we should have got that 30 million, you know, sell him permanently this summer rather than just loaning him out. What do you guys think? But let's just zoom out for a second, okay? Because this isn't just about Mbeumo or Rashford. This is about a club with no clear strategy, okay? To go through a list of things I feel like is a problem at this club. You know, first and foremost, they can't sell players properly. I feel like these guys struggle. I mean, we still haven't sold Anthony, Jadon Sancho. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that guy. Højlund has no links right now. You know, we're struggling to sell the players we have, you know, all the dead weight. Not only that, but we keep overpaying for these players. I mean, I thought we're done with that. I mean, we have a long history of overpaying players that don't perform. And so it's like, I feel like this summer was going to be different. They're going to change how, you know, how much they start paying, you know, try and go for more cheaper options. I mean, one player I had my eyes on was Ollie Watkins, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But one thing that this club always does is always overpay. Another thing is target the wrong positions. I feel like, listen, Mbeumo's a top player, but I don't feel like another number 10 is crucial right now. I feel like getting someone in the double pivot or getting us a striker or even a goalkeeper should be a bigger priority. Listen, the season's right around the corner and we still got holes in this team. I'm looking at the transfer market and I'm seeing like Jonathan David going to Juventus for free. And don't get me wrong, Jonathan David is somewhat of a risk because people say that, you know, he might not be the striker, like a top striker, right? But again, he's free, you know. I feel like Manchester United should have hopped onto that opportunity because he's clearly better. I'm gonna be honest, let's be honest. Jonathan David is better than Højlund, and so I feel like bringing in Jonathan David wouldn't be a bad signing. Again, and it's free, like what are we doing? But one player I feel like we should try and go hard on is Ollie Watkins. In fact, that 70 million we spent on Mbeumo, we could have spent 40 million of that on Ollie Watkins. And now I'm hearing names like Sen Leymans and Benjamin Sesko, who, by the way, Sesko is just expensive, okay? There's a reason why Arsenal didn't go for him. He's too expensive, and again, it comes back to overpaying players. And well, Sen Leymans, I don't know much about him, you know, but if you guys are interested in him, I can do a deep dive and a full breakdown on the player and answer the main questions, which is this guy even worth signing? But there's one question I do want to ask regarding Sen Leymans, and that is, are we just grabbing names? Or are we actually trying to build something here? Because that's one thing United needs to start doing, and that's building something. And don't get me wrong, I guess Ruben Amorim is trying to do that, but I don't feel like Ruben Amorim even has enough backing to build what he wants to build. And not many fans even like what he's building, you know. But as of recording, I'm gonna be honest, from my eyes, it looks like we're getting outplayed by these other clubs with way less money. And now look, here's the truth, right? That big money magic, okay, that Manchester United magic that, you know, how we can just use our name to get big players. I mean, that's slowly fading away, let's be honest. Other teams are also doing better businesses with half the budget. And so unless we fix our strategy, we're just going to waste another season with nothing to show for it. And so there's two questions I want to end this video with, and that is Mbeumo worth the 70 million that we paid him for? And will Rashford stay at Barcelona or just come back unwanted? Let me know in the comments because I do want to hear your take. And if you're tired of United being outclassed in the transfer market, hit the like button and subscribe for more transfer breakdowns. We've got to change the game, or we're going to stay stuck in the same cycle year after year.